The Merry-Go-Round of Life by Hisaishi is the main theme for the Studio Ghibli film Howl's Moving Castle, and one of the most well-known and beloved pieces in the genre. It's for good reason, and in this video I will try to explain why the music works as well as it does. As usual with film music, it's quite messy with all the different versions out there, so here's my analysis of that to start with. The original soundtrack from 2004 is orchestral, of course, and this theme apparently comes in many different forms throughout the film, with a full version in the ending song. I can also really recommend a more recent recording, a symphonic celebration with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra from 2023 in the same form. But then Hisaishi released a longer version in a kind of chamber setting on the album Freedom Piano Stories 4 in 2005. It has an added episode of a mini cadenza and a Tarantella variation that's not in the original soundtrack ending song version. I'm not sure if it's a string quartet or a slightly larger ensemble, but it's basically only strings and piano. I've also played a version for piano trio last year that's based on this version. You can check out the recording and find the score in the links in the description, and I can really recommend this version if you have the opportunity to play piano trio. Now getting to the piano solo versions. To start with, Hisaishi released his own on the 2008 album Piano Stories Best, which has the same form as the chamber version. However, it seems really hard to find the sheet music for that one. So then there's basically a sea of various other piano versions, both advanced and intermediate. One that's quite famous is by the YouTuber Animenz, which I will look closer at for the second part of this video. He takes a film score and really makes it into a fabulous piano piece with virtuosic and advanced textures all around, and he's even added an episode of 2 new variations on the theme. If you want to listen to a piano version, I recommend this one more than Hisaishi's own playing. I have tried my hands on it as well, and you can check out my attempt in another video on my artist channel. Finally, in the first part of this video, I will use an intermediate level arrangement by FMA to look at the musical material. I think it's very good. It skips over the mini cadenza and the Tarantella part and ends instead with an echo of the slower starting section. It starts with these wandering, kind of hesitant thirds. Establishes the tonality G minor with this D is the clear dominant, because then it resolves with upbeat. It's a G minor, but it moves on and we get this slow section. So it has this kind of loungy feeling. It's kind of hinting at the waltz because we get the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but it's not yet the clear waltz that we get the next section, the triple time. And it also has a very clear structure, like musical periods. It's 3 phrases, 2 antecedent phrases, and then 1 long consequent phrase, and they have the same contour. So just playing the phrase real quickly. Now it's the same contour, it moves a bit higher the second time. And the third time even higher. And then now it's longer and it goes down. So it sounds kind of simple and natural with these even melody notes, but it's very much alive, and that comes mostly from the harmony, I would say. So let's have a real close look at the harmony. So we're in G minor when we start. So if I only play the chords now. So this resolves to G minor, then added ninth for some extra tension here. And before that we have C minor 7 and D7, so it's like a perfect cadence, 4, 5, 1. The melody is on the 9 here as well, the C minor 9 cadence. Now for the second phrase, so the same C minor 7, but now we go to, it's another perfect cadence to B flat major. So C minor F7 B flat major. So it's C minor is the 2 in a 2-5-1 to B flat major. And B flat major 7 for an extra sentimental value. Now for the third phrase. If we stop here, this is kind of a cadence for the first half of it going to D minor. So that's another key. Now it goes a bit further, and we see these natural signs on the E. That's like a sign that it's in another key. But actually, just these chords, if we think that this resolves, we have an E half diminished, an extra suspension of the melody, to A7 to D minor. So that's another 2-5-1 within D minor. But like we don't recognize it like that because we're not in D minor to start with. It goes there. It's very interesting how it goes. So then a 2-5-1 in minor, the 2 has this diminished triad. And okay, now the second half, it moves on from this. Sorry about the tuning here for exactly this note, but bass goes down like a passing note, and we get the final cadential closure. To a D, here the A, it's A, we have the minor, so it's A minor, 7, to a D. Like you have this E flat again, that's more part of the B flat tonality, but really nice suspension, double suspension, and going to a D. So I think the music finds this perfect sweet spot where it's all the time pointing somewhere, but still has a close connection to the underlying tonality, so it has a quick way back. So after this D, we've been out on this adventure, when we get the G minor, this feels like home still, because it hasn't been a long time. It's almost like a harmonic carousel that goes round and round. Okay, so here starts the waltz section. We get it's exactly the same melody and harmony, but with it's a higher tempo, and we get the full accompaniment. So I'll just play this. So that's the 3 phrases, and in the end it moves on, so we get a repeat of that again in the waltz, but the ending is kind of smushed together. So we get the resolution to it goes to D major with this suspension, but at the same time he starts the next part with the upbeat that's in G minor. It's together, and like you never find this in a classical piece. It's too much unresolved dissonance. In this arrangement you can let go of the D major to get but it's still too short a time for a cadence and a resolution before it moves on. But it's kind of part of the style. It's not a problem, just a difference from typical classical music. So I'm gonna continue here because it moves on directly. Here's some minor variations, the second round. The bass has syncopations here, some nice tension. And some filled up melodic line here, 8th notes, lovely to play. For for the second time. It's the third time, but it's the second time in the waltz. It's a slightly different ending. It goes to D major with A major before that instead. C sharp, which makes it into a more clear cadence to D major, so not immediately going back to G minor, but staying in D major for some time. The harmonic pulse stops here. So like the carousel stops a bit to take on new passengers for the next round, you can say. Which is the second part of the theme. Some new material comes here, sounds like this. So that's all of that. I will look real close into it, but just now in the end you have the same type of smushing together after the some ending phrase on the D7 immediately going on. But before this we get this lovely chord after the D, this brief stop. This is really like the opening up chord. E flat with the F in the bass, or you can say F11, because it goes here to an F, but before that it's really a great chord. F points to B flat, the fifth drop in the bass, and the major 7 again. And now we get, it's a little more sparse with a harmonic pulse and pace here as well. So we get the same thing for a second time. And now it moves on. But again, it's only 2 chords here, going back and forth. D minor to A. It's again tonic and dominant. If D minor is a tonic, it's a locally, it's a tonic. You have this relationship, it's the important part. A detail here, we have these upbeats. In the original, it's a triplet. But for playability in this intermediate arrangement, it's simplified to an upbeat instead, because we have this change in texture in the left hand, which I think is really cool to get something different than the waltz you have for the rest of the piece. So now we get a sequence, this melody, same, lower down, and the harmony here, what is this? Well, it's the circular fifth progression. If you write a piece that's called a merry-go-round, you kind of have to have the circular fifth progression. So if you look at the bass note, only the bass note is D, G, C, F. And that's the circular fifth pattern when you go, like it's a fifth between, but every other is a fourth. Because you go up a fourth, it's the same as down a fifth, but you... And it continues here, B, E, A. And D. So it goes all the way around, but the melody changes after the 2 sequences. Really lovely type of sequence. This tense, diminished, try it again, or diminished feel. It's a D with an extra E flat, which is like a flat 9 to a D. This would be a normal D. And here, some nice variation with the left hand. In the original there is a chromatic scale like that in the strings. I will play that later in the Animenz version when I look at this, but here it's another alternative. now the pace picks up here. So B8, B7, E7 with some really crunchy melody notes on top here. So over an E we have the G natural, which is the minor third. It really doesn't vibe well normally. Also the F is the minor ninth. But it's again like part of this style. I think Hisaishi likes it. There's a place in the One Summer's Day. He also has the same kind of minor third over a major 7 chord. It just has some nice sting to it. So after this A we jump up to C minor. And then we get, this is kind of the similar progression of C minor to D. That's like a 4-5 because it's a D7. Here we go back to, it points back to G minor. And we get this closing part, some ritardando. And off we go again. So we get the repeat of the first part. It's higher up, more energy, forte, nice variation in the texture, in the triplet energy. Again, the major 7, sentimental value. Some variation here. And now we're kind of done with the main part of the piece. Now this arrangement goes into a coda with an echo of the slow starting section. So it's like a pause and then it's... which I think is a nice way to tie the piece together. We get one final kind of burst of energy where you get the waltz here for 4 bars. I think that's a nice touch. Like, is it going again for another round? You could theoretically take another full round of the parts, but you don't know. Okay, it's actually ending time. And these are the same kind of thirds that we hear in the beginning and in the ending as well. Now let's switch to the Animenz version so we can see the other parts in the longer form. The start is pretty much the same, a little bit more fuller chords. Then for the first round of the waltz, he does this crazy tremolo thing, which is very difficult, and I think you can actually play it without it. So I played this for quite a few concerts. I have a program that's called Piano Music from the Movies, and this is the finale. I play this as a finale, but I have dropped the tremolo because it's too risky to get it and too straining to do it for a long time. But obviously he can play it on the recording, which he does brilliantly. So, but I play it like this instead. So I add like on the long top notes. Something like that. Then let's jump into the second part of the theme. We got some crazy jumps here. It's also very difficult. Okay, this is the second part of the first theme. He adds these textures, chords all over, and the melody is somewhere in between. But here, the second part, this is really good. Like, this feels even much more fun to play when you get this. Remember the F11 chord. So we get this filled up left hand. By the the way, I will not show all of the score here because it's not in the public domain. Now we get this. So he puts the theme below and we get some chords in the right hand again. Okay, now for this part, the circular fifth sequence. Here we get the chromatic scale, which is played by the strings in the original version, and it works really well for piano, I think. So here the original version goes back with the return of the first part, but Animenz goes straight to the mini cadenza part because he makes it into an even longer piece after that, so that works fine. So we get some transition. And from here we have this in Hisaishi's own original longer version. He adds this kind of mini cadenza, get a return of the wandering thirds. And now filled up with an arpeggio. Animenz has made it an extended arpeggio. Not that, that's another song. Again. And now we get the Tarantella section. So it flips to a 6/8 time, and it's really cool. It's exactly the same melody and harmony, but instead of a triple time waltz, it's a 6/8 time. So it's like this. Also this run, I love this run. It's a G major with the minor third as a passing note, or spelled as an raised second. Now for the second part, it's still in a Tarantella setting, but the same material. Typical Liszt run, straight out of a Liszt or Chopin etude book. And here is where Animenz has added 2 new variations on the theme himself, which I think are really strong. So first we get this kind of exploration or development of the slow version of the theme. It's high up and really nice piano chords. Like a little bit different melody. Which grows into this, the second variation. They're like short, but this is like the best part, with this texture with triplets within the hand and melody on top. Very pianistic, very, very nice. So I don't think Joe Hisaishi can come up with this texture, so that's why it's a perfect mix. come back to D. So now in the form, this is like now we go back to the track of the original long version. So here is where the key change happened, which is also part of the original soundtrack, the short version, like with the ending is the same. So it's a D. But now we raise it up from D to E, so now E points to one step higher, A minor instead of G minor. This kind of motif. And now the same smooshed together, resolution to the tonic as the upbeat, A minor, over the dominant. Okay, now we gear up for the final round, basically. Sounds like this. Coda. Before I play the coda, I wanna explain some of the things here, because this is so much fun to play. So much like it's all the registers at once activated for full piano sound, deep octaves, and we have this kind of a dialogue with a secondary voice, which is played by the strings in the original recording, which is why it's very hard to do as a piano. To do it justice for a piano, you kind of need this level of advanced texture. So let me see if I can play the melody and this answering. Like that. You have this in thirds as well, but okay, it's possible to do it with these really big jumps. Like you don't do the resolution, but it comes in the melody instead. Runs in the left hand with the chords, and for the second part of the theme here, like an extra sus suspension, sus4 suspension, like a real pop hit. So it's the same thing. We go from E7, the dominant, straight back to the 4 minor 4 5 1 in A minor. So now the melody fills up with eighth notes, continuous eighth notes, a mix of melody and accompany. Lovely texture. Now for the final cadence, usually this goes immediately to E major, the B to E, but now it stays on the B, kind of teases to stop here. Still on B, there's the E, so it extends the cadence. And now we get the coda, which is kind of based on the original. It has the same foundation, but Animenz, of course, pimps it up to a real virtuosic piano ending. But the foundation is going between E major and A minor. So we get this minor 4 to the tonic, but of course we have a lot of octaves. And now the final chord, which is an amazing sound. So actually it says like this. And this is closer to the original in the orchestra. So you have an E, the 5th, the 6th, and the 9. Yeah. So it's very open. However, I do like to include the 3rd as well, which I don't think is part of that. So instead of this, I like to play. So you have this. It makes it a little bit more closer to E major, just a fine detail difference actually. But yeah, very, very nice ending. I think this is really good music, and especially this arrangement by Animenz as an exciting piano piece. And I think it has to be part of the future to play music from our own time and not just classical, if we want to keep art music alive with a higher ambition of providing a richer musical experience than, for example, Einaudi and Yuruma. And I think this is a really good way to do it, so hats off to Animenz. And thanks for watching the channel. The Patreon shoutout goes to Jay Perlman, and I see you all in another video.